Hello, dear viewers. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today, I'd like to read on, they're talking about reopening different parts of the country. The governors, we have governors in 3 states getting together, governors in 5 states getting together, talking about a plan to do this. And by and large, what we're hearing today on April 15th is that we need more testing before they're willing to lift stay-at-home orders. Look at this, flying out again. The Wheel of Fortune, let's just fly out again. Yep. So, it's a time in history, that's for sure. A new era. So, they are wondering about when to do this. Will they get the testing? Let's see. I want to know, are there areas where they're going to open up restrictions even without increased testing? There's a lot of things. Spirit, what do you have to tell us about this? We have the Knight of Swords. Okay, so there will be, in other words, there will be some states where restrictions are lifted essentially before it's wise to do so, before they do have this mass testing. It'll be, we're charging forward, we're going to win, we're going to get our economy up and running, that kind of thing. Yeah, so that's true. It's a very complicated issue because whether there's more testing or not, they know that reopening things will increase cases. It'll increase the rate of cases. So, it is a complicated issue. Yet, we're going to be dealing with this probably for well over a year at least, and they can't be shut down for that whole time. So it is a complicated issue. Let's see, what else, Spirit, do we need to know about this? Yeah, secrets, I know. The moon. Okay, rely on our intuition, because if we feel like we're not getting the whole story, we're probably not getting the whole story. I do think there will be some efforts to reopen states, and the citizens of those states aren't going to get all the information about what's expected. What are the projections with this reopening? How many deaths? How many increased hospitalizations? What will the second wave look like after this reopening? I think those are questions we should ask ourselves. And if our intuition is telling us that what we're hearing on the news just doesn't sound right, it may not. I am kind of shocked that the Minnesota CDC's website, they have charts and tables that they make publicly available. They're not going by the Washington projections because they feel like they're too optimistic, and they're going by the U of M projections, and they have 4 scenarios on there about what happens if things are reopened May 8th, what happens if things would have been reopened April 10th, and all these different scenarios. And just admittedly, the peak, they say the peak would be delayed, but still there'd be this many deaths, and not great news. But they're trying to be transparent. But I think that we're not going to always get that transparency, and you do have to dig for it a little bit too. So I think, and in a lot of states, maybe we don't get quite that transparency. So yeah, we need to rely on our intuition here, because they may not tell the whole story, or they may really soft pedal some parts of it. Now, that being said, I don't know about you guys, but I would hate to be in their position, because they do have to reopen the economy fully at some point. And yeah, because there are other negative effects they're trying to prevent. Severe poverty and all of the bad things that come with that. So, they do have a tough situation. Let's see, what else about that, Spirit? a Six of Swords. However, and this I've gotten to, we will be learning a lot more about this, about how to manage this. And I do think as the months go on, they will get better at testing a lot and doing the contact tracing and doing the communicating via apps to let people know if they've been in an area with high exposure, or at least let them know what they can let them know. And we will be learning a lot over the coming months about that. And there may be a therapeutic developed too in the coming months that will take us to calmer shores with this pandemic. I think even before there's a vaccination. So I just keep getting in my gut that it's not the best case scenario, but it's certainly not the worst either. You know, it's just, we'll be learning. We'll be learning. And one state will be learning from the other. Yeah. Spirit, I wanted to know too about this flattening the curve that they're talking about all the time. So flattening the curve means, like in New York right now, that the number of hospitalizations or new cases, confirmed cases, isn't going steadily higher. It's sort of leveling off. But that still means that there are a lot of new cases every day. There are a lot of deaths every day. So, Spirit, this is what I wonder about that. That curve, and apparently other parts of the country will experience that same thing later probably. So, and at lower heights, that curve won't be so high. But Spirit, is it going to be that simple that the curve will flatten and then go down? I'm going to ask about that. We have a new beginning. We have the Ten of Cups. We have, the Seven of Cups. Okay, it'll continue to be a little confusing, but that is a new beginning as long as people are staying at home, I think. Because that Ten of Cups a lot of times has been Spirit's suggestion of how we should view stay at home. Like, hey, we're fine here. It's okay. Focus on your relationships, that kind of thing. So I think that, yes, as long as the stay-at-home orders remain in effect, yes, it'll be a good sign. It will be a new beginning. However, it may still be confusing with a lot of unknowns with the Seven of Cups. Okay, Spirit, what else? Ten of Coins. See, there's the issue, though. People concerned about financial security of our nation, concerned about wealth, will still be pushing for reopening, and in some cases maybe sooner than they should. Yes. So, okay. So yes, that's how the curve should go, flat and then start to go down. However, with the exception of those states that reopen too soon. And there may be reopenings that happen too soon and then everything's closed up again. Yeah. Okay. So projections are based upon continued stay-at-home measures. So that's the deal. The sun, again, and I always get like the summer with the sun. And maybe that's where we start to really see some improvement and it feels good, Magician, yeah. Manifesting some good results, yes. Wheel of Fortune. However, we're still in this life-changing time. Yeah, but I have seen that. I have seen, us feeling more positively about it into the early summer. And even though there's flare-ups after that, and there are missteps that we learn from, and there continue to be deaths that we get tired of, certainly hearing about, I do think we learn things along the way that start to help us to feel more like, okay, we know what we're dealing with here, and this is probably manageable. There will still be terrible weeks for different cities where it doesn't feel like that. But I think we're going to be managing this better. And then we're going to have to talk about managing the economic fallout. And it's all doable. It's all doable. Yeah, Spirit, I do not get the feeling from this catastrophe that it is like the end of civilization, or it is going to result in severe, disruption of government civilization. I don't get that, you guys. I don't. I think it's going to be a blow. I think a lot of things are going to have to change. It will certainly be quite a time of growth and learning. There will be increased conflicts in some areas. Yes, all of these things. There will be financial fallout. But at the same time, I just believe that a lot of things that have needed to happen will be happening. And a lot of very intelligent people will be coming together to make plans. So, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. It's a time of rapid growth and lots of missteps. Yes. So, all right, spirits. So, what else should we know what about this widespread testing? Is that coming in? Is that coming in? Well, there's a lot of deep mysteries behind why that's not happening. Okay. Gosh, I hate that. Because I feel like when I get that card, in other words, the deep mysteries behind why it's not happening are not all valid. There may be reasons it's not happening that are political, that are economic, and don't need to be like that, don't need to be such a problem economically if the right funding was given to this cause. We have the Ace of Cups. There's dirt. There's dirt behind the scenes about this. And right, I have consistently gotten that Trump is really not interested in having the real numbers up there. Really not interested in that. Really not interested in having widespread testing, because what's going to happen when there's widespread testing, confirmed cases are going to go through the roof. And he really likes having those numbers be a severe underestimate of the cases of COVID in the country. He likes that. He really likes that. So, gosh, there's an issue. We have the Knight of Cups. We also have some manipulation. There will be perfectly reasonable explanations for why we don't have widespread testing, and much of it will be BS. Okay. The Chariot. But there's going to be the push of this thing moving forward so quickly, and the uncertainty of which way is it going to go. And we'll have to pull the tools out of the toolbox in order to manage this thing. So I do think there will be an expansion of testing here at some point, along with the other technology that they want to use. But greed and avarice continues to be a problem. So there will be an expansion of testing at some point, because it just will be a must. And greed and avarice is still a problem, though, so our government may have trouble sending enough money to ramping that testing up, because we do have still the Senate with a majority, Republican majority, and we do still have the president who can veto bills. So we have a problem there. Okay, but, I keep seeing that Six of Swords. Along the way, more will be learned and more will be learned about what technology does help us decrease the spread of this thing. And it may be that it's contact tracing and information about hotspots for COVID and all of that stuff may be just as effective as super widespread testing. But I do see testing ramped up at some point. I don't think, and unfortunately, I think there will be a lot of governors who are in the uncomfortable position of having to make a decision. Do we open up even though we don't have the testing and the numbers that we want? Because I don't think it's ramping up enough in the next month. to make the decision easy for the governors, where they would say, okay, now we're doing it and we're doing this widespread testing. It's still going to be a really tough decision. Yeah. And we do have some workers protesting, right? Was it Michigan today? Protesting, wanting the economy to be opened up, wanting everybody back to work now, because they're worried about finances. So there's that too. So, yeah, a lot of them held Trump signs and Confederacy signs. What? Confederacy flags in Michigan. What kind of strangeness is this? Although the flag with the American flag colors and then guns wrapped around guns, that was a weird one too. It's just, I don't know. But these folks are making this very partisan, and well, it is very partisan. I can't say these folks are doing it, because we are a pretty split country. But cheapers, I couldn't believe the Confederacy flag. It's Michigan. It never was part of the Confederacy. What are you people doing? Anyway, that's all I can say about that. It's just, there are many things I do not understand, but I've never understood racism and bigotry anyway. To me, it's just, how can a thinking person think they're superior based upon this superficial characteristic? How can anybody, it just, I don't know. It has always puzzled me beyond belief. Anyway, all right. So what else, Spirit, should we ask before we go? Oh, gosh. Spirit keeps coming back and telling me and letting me know that for all of us, we can center ourselves in what Spirit has for us. So, see, the thing is, Source, our loved ones, our angels, they can guide us through quite a maelstrom and keep us safe. So we can ask for what we need, and we can't think that just because much of the country is experiencing something, we are going to experience it. Just because, there may be recession coming, that we are going to have a huge hit to our finances. You can't assume that stuff, because there's always this wide variation in people's experiences with every major disruptive event in history. This wide variation in how people experience those years. So Spirit keeps reminding me of that, keeps telling me to tell you guys that, keeps telling me to tell you guys, same thing I'm being told. Center, journal, meditate, do all those things. Believe what Spirit is telling you. When it's good news, when it's calming news, when it's, truth. Believe it. Okay. All right. Well, I thank you all so very much. Take care. I send you blessings and much love. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.